Well, welcome to Brunton Park. A lot of the time myself and the media team, through you guys communicating with the club, get asked all sorts of questions about what we do to the pitch in the close season and what goes on and how do we get it back to a good condition and what we do and all the rest of it. And through the season you ask lots of questions about that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do this season is we're going to document what we do to the pitch at the end of one season as we move through the close season into the new season. So hopefully we'll capture all the important aspects of what we do, what has to go on, and hopefully it'll answer some of your questions and you'll be able to take a bit of comfort out of that you know it's all in good hands. And as we move towards playing Blackpool in the first home friendly of the season, everything will be good and everything will come to a peak just at the right time. It's a long way to go, a lot of work to do, but let's see how we get on. Well, here we go then. This is the first process in taking off the 10mm of leftover rubbish from last season. You see there the Corro field top maker machine skims it off and goes up the conveyor there into the trailer. Good bit of skill involved with the drivers on this one so they don't miss it. And you can see the clean surface that's left behind. So we're here just to show you the depth of organic or the rubbish that we take off the top of the pitch at the end of the season. This is obviously old pitch. We're across at the side of the pitch here, but that's all pitch top. This is what's been removed and left behind. We've got a few little strands of grass there, but that's okay. So it's only about 10mm or so that we've taken off there. So that leaves us with a nice clean surface. So we'll pop across to the middle of the pitch and we'll dig it up for you, and then we'll show you exactly what's going on down there. Okay, so we're in the middle of the pitch. We've dug this area out for you here just to see. So this is what we call the upper root zone here, which is where the roots grow, and this is where we need to do all the work in the close season to get this right. This is lower root zone, which is just a slightly coarser sand, and then we're down to these elusive, and yet here they are, under pitch heating pipes which go across and back all the way across the pitch, and they're tied to a weld mesh, which is basically a metal frame here. There you can see it's rusting away there, and then under that is the gravel carpet, which I'm pleased to say is dry as a bone, and that's about 4 inches deep, 100mm deep, and then that's the profile. So what I'll do next is we'll go to another location, we'll dig a hole out, and we'll show you what we do with the process that we come to that'll renovate this top bit, this top portion here. Okay, so here we are, middle of the pitch. This is what this is all cleaned off. You can see the fibres there, hopefully sticking up. So I'm just going to dig a little bit out, and then you'll see the profile that we've just seen before, and I'll show you what we try to do with the top, this top 4 inches or so, to try and improve it. Just give us a sec, I'll just dig it out. When we're doing this, we've got to be careful that we don't start mixing the top with the bottom, otherwise we'll get into a real mix up. So we just need to go to there. You can see there, if you just go along nice and flatly, there's that yellow lower root zone there. So the issue, like I say, is in this top bit here, okay, which we've got in a heap. Have you got that, Amy? Yeah. So that's that there. So what we do with that is when we power harrow it all up and mix it all up, just like what I've done there with that heap, these are, let's call it micronutrients, a little bit of iron, a little bit of manganese, boron, a little bit of slow release fertilizer. That we'll mix that in with it on the top, mix it all in, and there's our lime, calcium carbonate, to change the pH, the acidity. So we mix all that in. This is basically just showing you what we would do with the whole 7,900 square meters. Mix it up, get some air into it all. It's a great sound, that one. It sounds a lot more sandy when the sand's been mixed. So that's got new life invigorated into it, and then with the machines and the seeding, it all gets consolidated down, and then we'll end up with something that comes back to roughly the original level, and we seed into that. So I guess tomorrow we'll come back and have a look at the cultivation, and then we'll take it from there. So this is the fibre sand concentrate that we've had delivered, 0.9%. You can see the plasticky fibres there. I won't go into all the detail, but basically mixed with the sand, medium sand, sport sand as they call it, that we're going to mix into the surface. There's give or take 86-87 tonnes of it there, about 29 tonnes a load, from Nottinghamshire, where they've got a great sand pit there. It's all good stuff. So that's what we're going to mix in, and the next time you see that, it'll be coming out of the spreader when it's going onto the pitch. Okay, so we've had the first cultivation of the pitch. We'll just have a little look. I'll show you this. So this has been cultivated. Look how easy that is to dig in now. And just to show you, we looked at it yesterday, where we've got the different layers. There's the lighter coloured sand, so we haven't touched that. That's still reasonably firm under there. So this is the bit here that we're cultivating to make that nice and healthy for the new seed to grow in. Right, well, here's our lime, our calcium carbonate, to adjust the pH, the acidity of the root zone, the growing area that we keep talking about, that we want to make healthy and good for the grass to grow in. So this is nice size. We'll spin it out of this fertilizer spreader. Smells nice and sweet. To raise the pH by 0.1, we need about 60 kilos. So we've got about 1.2 tonnes to put on to get that back to about 6, if my maths is any good, which I think it's okay. You're all working that out now. Okay, so it'll take a while, but let's get it on. So here we are. This is the first spread of the fibre sand going on that we saw earlier. I'll just show you. If we move that around there, I'm moving that with my hand. One of the dangers with this stuff is that the more you fiddle around with it, the fibre comes out and it separates from the sand, so we don't want that. We need it all kept together and consistent. So it's quite a technique to get that power harrowed in, which is the next stage after this. So yeah, so far so good. So this is the cultivation of the fibre sand that we talked about. This machine is a big power harrow machine that mixes it in. We need to be really quite precise with the mixing in, because we don't want any sort of localized pockets of fibre or bits that haven't had any fibre mixed in. So it's quite a process, probably about 7, 8, 9 passes to get it right, and eventually we get to a consistency that we're happy with. So this is the next phase. This is a stone rake machine, which has obviously been discovered that it does a fantastic job of working this fibre and doesn't allow it to sort of come apart as long as it's damp enough. You can see it working the surface there. It picks off the high bits and drops it into the low bits, and that's how we get the levels spot on. It's a really good piece of machinery, really quite precise. You can just see the light bit there where it hasn't really touched the surface, so it's taken off the higher bit, and it gets an absolutely really good finish to the surface, ready for the seeding. Okay, so we've had to move into week 2 of the renovations. So we've had to have a little break towards the end of week 1 with some inclement weather that we didn't really want, but it's probably gone the longest period of time into these kind of renovations that we've ever had in my time here anyway. But nonetheless, we are in week 2, and we've moved on from the lime going in, the fertilizer going in, the power harrowing, the stone rake that you've seen, and now we've got the levels, you probably see behind me, and we're about to commence seeding. We've tidied up all around the edges, which is a bit of a painstaking task, getting those all to marry in with the sprinkler heads and the boxes, etc. So yeah, we're good to go. The sun's shining, so hopefully by the end of today we should be seeded and complete. So we can see here, this is what we end up with, the fibres mixed in. Nice firm surface, nice sort of crumbly seed bed, ready for our seed. So when it comes to the seeding, I like to do some seeding myself, just like this, which is a bit irregular, which is a slightly different method to the tractor drilling, which is very precise. Just sort of stops us getting annoying little gaps in the pattern that comes up when the seed emerges. Right, you've seen me going across with the random seeder, so we like it as random as possible. So what you can see here, this is after one pass with the big tractor seeder. You see the little dimples that put in there, and you've got maybe 3 or 4 seeds in a hole, and then we'll do that'll get about 4 or 5 passes on top of what I've done, and each pass will kind of fill that in and then create more holes. So far so good. The sun's shining, so when all this is done we just have to wait perhaps 6 days or so, and hopefully we should be germinated. We've got a bit of heat now at the end of May, so after a long wait, but it's all looking good. So 5 or 6 days and we should be showing you the new shoots of the new pitch for 21-22. So it's now 7 days after seeding last week, and as you can see, the majority of the seed is germinated. After lots of sunshine, we've had as you know, we've had this warm spell, plenty of heat, plenty of sunshine, lots of water, and seeds come up really good. It actually appeared probably 2 days ago, which is 5 days after seeding, which is absolutely exceptional. So that's a good start. Just before it popped out of the ground, after 3 days after sowing, I applied a little bit of fertilizer with a bit of nitrogen, a bit of potash, a bit of phosphate for roots and healthy plant and a bit of growth. So we'll just keep it rolling on as fast as we can into weeks 2, 3 and then up to 4, when it should really get going. So far so good. Right, so we've seen 7 days ago when the seed had just germinated, and here we are a week later with the first cut. The seed's really germinated well. The weather's been fantastic. We've had a lot of sunshine, a lot of heat. The sprinklers have been working overtime, and everything that we did with the pitch there's paying dividends, as we can see. And this is the first cut at 28 millimeters, so it looks in good shape at the moment, and we'll just keep it going on a weekly basis until we get to sort of 4 weeks, and then we really have a close look at it when we get to the nitty-gritty of making sure that when we get hold of it we can't pull it out, but we'll come to that soon. So yeah, it's got fertilizer to go on in the next sort of 10 days to give it another boost, and just keep an eye on it, make sure it's thickening up and no disease creeps in. Overall, yeah, a really good start. Well, we're a week further on, so weather's been decent. We had a little bit of rain last night. Pitch has been cut this morning, so we're just going to have a little look in with the golf hole cutter to take a little core out, just to have a little look and show you what's going on, if anything. It's totally live. So we have a look at that, see if there's anything going on. It's not a good start. So we're just trying to see where the roots are. So this has been growing for just a day over 2 weeks. And so we've got little roots coming through there. Can you pick those up?
Yeah.
So I've got these little roots here, pretty good. There's the fibres. Easy to get a root mixed up with a fibre, but that's a root. That bit there. So that's not falling off that, so that's well rooted. This is a little bit shallow there, but that's pretty good so far. Moist. Hang on. Yeah, smells okay. So that's good for 2 weeks. So happy with that. We'll put that back in and keep an eye on things. We've cut the pitch this morning. Had a little look at the roots. Doing okay, and we're in the process of a fertiliser application to keep it all moving in the right direction, pushing it on really as quickly as we can. 15% nitrogen, 15 potash, 5 phosphate with a little bit of slow release, as they call it, in there, just so we don't get too much of a flush, and that we've got some background sort of help, so we don't go straight up and a massive flush of growth and then back to nothing. If we get a warm spell, we have to put a lot of water on. It just flushes it all the way through quite quickly. So if we get some slow release in there, just keeps it ticking over nicely, and that should take us into sort of week 4 and beyond. Should green it up a bit more, help the weaker areas, not that there's many, and yeah, just keep it thickening up all the time. Okay. Well, here we are, 2 weeks since we've had any documented progress on the pitch. So in between, over the last 14 days, we've had lots of heat, plenty of sun. I think we've only had a couple of days with a bit of rain. One day was probably 24 hours of rain, but very helpful. As you can see, the pitch has come on, or at least I hope you can tell. It's looking really good. We're cutting down at 26 millimetres now. We've cut, I would suspect, every day for the last fortnight since you were last updated. Goal to goal and then across, that's all. Just you know, one day across, next day up and down, keep rotating that. Give or take, the same amount of grass clippings come off every day, so that's a good guide as to how the progress is. So it's really ticking on uniformly and at the same rate just about all over. However, we've gone today with a 12/012 granular fertiliser, really fine prill, on probably the hottest day of the year. Not the best idea, but hopefully the sprinklers will work, there won't be a power cut. So that'll just pep it up a little bit and keep it knocking on for the next sort of couple of weeks. It's, you know, it's thickening up and looking really good. You know, when the sun's out, it looks really fantastic. So yeah, really pleased so far, and I hope you are too. So it's been a couple of weeks since we last had an update. Pitch has just been getting cut regularly, every day. Kind of grown like mad, really. The conditions have been very favourable, warm, sunny. We've had some rain, we had some really heavy bursts last weekend, which we can kind of see on the pitch that even though the cutting continues, we're losing a little bit of the nice green colour to it. It's just getting a little bit washed out, so we'll be looking at doing some granular fertiliser next week. That would be a normal sort of period of time since the last dose, and then that will really pep it up for the 2 friendly games, and then we'll assess it again after that, and that gives it some good recovery in between games. We're getting a little bit dry at the moment, just that we're in that, you know, mid to high 20s, and it looks as though it's going to last for certainly into next midweek. So the sprinkles will be going on a regular basis, just to keep it kind of on the edge, not too much, but enough obviously to keep it alive, but you can easily overdo it, and it just kind of sickens it a bit, and then you can get sort of disease coming in. So it's a fine line, but it's all, we've got the tools to do the job, and then that should get us into a good position for the first friendly of the season. So that's Paul and me there cutting the pitch. That's a 2-man operation, so just interesting to show you here a 1-man operation. That's across the pitch, cutting and up and down, and that's how far it is, and all the other statistics that go with it, such as the modern techniques of this kind of thing. But so we're at match day preparation time. We've done all the hard work's gone in the last just over 8 weeks since the pitch was seeded, which has gone pretty quickly. Weather's been good. We're at match day, So we've cut the pitch at 26 mil in metres this morning, marked it up. All the little finicky bits like the corners and the little 11-yard marks going in, just as a guide for the linesman and referee for corners. Yeah, so it's all looking good. It's always good to get to the first game and then get cracking, because the bit between trying to grow the pitch and the first game of or even if it's first friendly, is always a bit of a slow period in the season. Always seems as though it's never going to start, so the sooner it gets started the better really, and then you just get into the routine. So yeah, really pleased overall the way things have gone, and looking forward to a good season. Well, here we are, post Blackpool on Monday the 26th of July. We've had the friendly, everything's been done. You've seen what's gone on, what we ended up with. Fantastic day weather-wise. We've had all that beautiful weather for growing grass, and we got there in the end. Another little friendly on this Friday against Halifax, and then at last the season begins and we move on, and then we get into the routine of post-match stuff. So hope you enjoyed it.